Hello there, lovely crafters. Thank you for joining me today. If it's your first time here, I'm Terry of Veegstez Creates, and today I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful Eternity Vase box. I wouldn't usually go for the colours of pink and gold together, but I was just drawn to them for this make, and I think it works really well. So this tutorial will walk you through step by step on how to make this project. So you can see it's a nice large container, and it's got a lid that slides on and off. You can use the top little bit there to pull it on and off, and it's got a nice sturdy base as well. You can actually make this in 3 different ways. So this is the 6-sided version, the hexagon. You can also make an 8-sided version, an octagon, or a 4-sided version. And the instructions in the kit are very clear, but I know that some people, myself included, like to see a visual of how to construct things. So that's what today's tutorial is going to be about. So let's dive in, shall we? Okay, so first of all, we are provided with very clear instructions. I've printed it off in black and white, so we can't see the beautifully decorated samples that were created for the packaging. But on the reverse, we have very detailed instructions, and it's actually a really easy, simple make to put together. And you might not necessarily think that when you look at it. If you're a seasoned tonicaholic who is used to creating these 3D makes, then you'll find this no problem at all. But likewise, if you are new to constructing these 3D makes for which Tonic are famous, it's genuinely not a difficult make at all. So the make can actually be produced in 3 different ways, which are here. So there is a 4-sided version, a 6-sided version, and an 8-sided version. And the instructions on the reverse show you how to make the 6-sided version, which I've already shown you. So basically, if you wanted to make the other sizes, you would just use the other shapes. So you would use the same body die to create the sides, but you would cut out a different amount of them. So obviously, if with this make, which is the 6-sided one, I need 6 of these. If you're creating a 4-sided one, you need 4, and 8 if you're doing the 8-sided version. And there are different you'll also need different amounts of this bit, which is the base. So this is the die that forms the base, so it comes in a 4. So if you were doing the 8-sided make, you would cut this out twice, once for the 4-sided make, and then for the 6-sided make we cut it out twice, and then we cut half off. We don't need that. And then in terms of decoration with Tonic dies, this is more for those of you that are newer to Tonic die sets, we always get the option of having beautiful intricate decorative dies. So you can see here that we've got one that's got beautiful flowers. So if you use that die with a plain outer die, or there's a stitched version of the outer die which the maker of this one has used to give a dotted pattern around the edge, then you'll get a lovely floral pattern. So you can either paper piece that or back it in another colour that contrasts nicely, or there's this one which is a trellis. But if you want to crack into some of your speciality cardstock or patterned paper, then you've got those outer dies and you don't have to use the intricate inner panels. And this goes for the base, the center, and also the lid. So I've gone for a mixture of the two here. So I've had these multi-packs of beautiful patterned paper for a while now, where you get 2 sheets of each in a multi-pack, and I've just been keeping them and sort of waiting for a project that I thought they would work well with. So there are 2 sort of different shades of gold. This one's more of a sort of a duller gold. So I've just used this straight edge shape, and the bottom is actually bigger than the top. So there are two different sort of triangular shapes, which you'll find out, because if you try to put them the other way, then you'll think, oh gosh, there's a lot of space there. And then this way, it's too full. So I've gone for, I couldn't choose between these 2, so I thought, well, why not mix it up? So when you can see that there's little glue tabs here, so when this is constructed, it'll be alternating colours. And then I used one of the lovely verso dies. So there's different ones that you can put in the middle, and then an outer rectangle with the piercing detail. And if you run that through your die cutting machine and keep it taped together, then you can cut as many as you need, which in this case is 6. This is also true for the base and the lid. So I've used the same patterned die, because there's a couple to choose from for those. But it does tell you how many you need to cut from each die. So for this one, it's 6. Or it's 3 of the main panels. You need 4 of the base, so it's going to be nice and strong and cover up any glue tabs. So the largest of the 6-sided shapes, and then you'll need the medium-sized one for the lid, which goes here. You just need 2 of those, and then which goes with that, and you need to cut that out 3 times. And then we've got a little baby one, and that is for the little pull handle, so you need 2 of those, and then 3 of these dinky little ones, which form this base here, this little pull tab here. You can see that on this 6-sided one they haven't put one on. So you don't have to use every single element. You know, obviously for the 8-sided one and the 4-sided one, which you can see here, they have, but for this one the designer hasn't, and it still looks lovely. So there's so much flexibility. So now that I've explained about the 3 different sizes and how to make them, I'm now going to construct this make for you. But the way that I'm going to do this tutorial is that I will speed up certain portions and put some music on, so that you can see me assembling things and get a sense of how it works, and don't have to watch me sticking and gluing things down in real time. But anything that I think will enhance your understanding of how to construct the box, I will explain in real time, so I won't speed it up or anything. Because I've already chosen my colour palette, what I can go ahead and do is stick these pieces down now. It doesn't really matter which way around you do it, whether you construct the project first and then add your decorative layers on. Sometimes I do it that way, and sometimes I do it this way, so it doesn't actually matter. But because I've done all of the die cutting anyway, I'm just going to do that. So I'll do that off camera. But you can see that, well, hopefully you can see. There are score lines on all of these, so these are all going to need to be folded and burnished. So I'll just show you that just in case you are a newbie and you're thinking, what do you mean by fold and burnish? So basically we've got these lines here and these are glue tabs. So we know which way we're going to need to fold it because we have seen by looking at the instructions that they fold upwards and then downwards. So these are what are called mountain folds. So they look like a little mountain. If we were folding it the other way, it would be a valley. But these are just mountain folds. You can see that already wants to go that way, so that's going to be the two sides, and then this glue tab will stick onto the next panel. Okay, so now I've gone ahead and folded and burnished all of my score lines. You can start to see how the make is going to come together, and you can see how the decorative elements are going to sit nicely on here. So what I'm going to do off camera is just fold and burnish the other pieces, stick these decorative pieces down because you don't need to watch that, and then I'll be back in a moment when we are ready to start assembling. And so now we need to adhere the 3 panels together, so using the glue tab. So we go up to the score line but not beyond it. It's a good idea, I always find, to check it from the back as well. And I will give this a little burnish with the bone folder, and this just helps the paper fibres to bed in to the paper fibres on the other side to help it adhere better. Just check that it's all straight and lined up, and it is. So then we can do the same with the next one. And you don't need much of, if you're using a really good strong glue like the Nouveau Deluxe adhesive, and I really like, especially now there's the fine tipped nozzle. I absolutely love it because it's just great for fine detail work, and it's nice and grabby, but it does give you a bit of wiggle time. So if you've slightly position something incorrectly and it just needs a little wiggle or something, then you've got that time to do that. So now that's adhered correctly. So now we have all 3 panels adhered together. We're going to adhere the bottom panels to their neighbours. So and again, you know the difference between the top and the bottom, because the top has the larger tab and the bottom has the glue tab, which we then glue onto the base. So I find if you line it up like this, looking at the outside, then we can make sure that it's in the correct position. So we want it up to the score line and not beyond. And then once we're confident that it's up to the score line and not beyond, we can then fold and burnish it. So I'm just sort of folding it like that because it seems to be happy enough with me doing that. And then I will get in there with my bone folder just to reinforce that a little bit. Yep, so that's, you can't see any gaps. That's lovely. So again, we'll do the next one. I'll do this one in real time so you can just see it again, and then I'll speed up the rest. So I'm using the first finger of my left hand to hold that. I'll move that out of the way a little bit. And yep, that's folded really nicely. And then we just need the bone folder to give it a good burnish and help it stay in place. It's looking nice, isn't it? I really like this colour palette that I've chosen. Right, so I'm going to go ahead and do the rest, and I'll speed that up. Okay, so at this point we have adhered all of the bottom panels and all of the mid panels to each other, and then now we can pop that to one side for a while whilst we make up our base. So to make up the base, we first of all adhere this glue tab to here. Again, just remembering that we always want to go up to the score line but not beyond it, so that it can maintain its movement, because obviously this is going to have to wrap all the way round to form the base. And then we do the same with this one, and again, because it's even, it's the same number of sides, so it's the same length, we can actually fold it in half and glue it like that, because it's all the same length. Checking I haven't gone over the score line. Which I haven't. I'm just checking it's even, which it appears to be. So I am going to give that a little burnish again. Okie dokie. So I've already burnished the sides of all of these, but now we want to fold, make sure the bottom ones are all folded upwards like that, and this is, we'll sort of fold this back up. This is going to make it easier for us if these are out of the way, because what we should be able to do is to glue this inside here, and that fits pretty well. So we add, in fact I normally use my my gluing board for things like this to try and protect my nice pretty faux wooden work surface. So just add some glue along these inner tabs, and then pop our shape into there. And use our bone folder. And this is going to form the base of our container, on which the main body of the container will sit on top of. Okay, so now that is nicely adhered there, we're going to fold these back down and then put glue on these top tabs and stick our hexagon, or our second of 4 hexagons, onto here. So we know this is a perfect fit because the other hexagon just slotted in absolutely perfectly. So we just want to wiggle the sides around so that we don't like see any of these openings if we can help it. And then you can see how pretty that looks with the decorative panels on the side there. So it's worth just taking the time just to sort of hold it and ease it into place. See, it's wanting to wiggle around a bit just to make sure these glue tabs adhere to the side of the hexagon. So it doesn't take too long to adhere, and I wouldn't really recommend using a double-sided adhesive or red liner tape for this personally. Because I think you do need this wiggle room and the time to get it into the correct space to try and avoid having like gaps. And then once that's done, we can turn that over and then cover this in more glue and add the third of the 4 large hexagons to make our base even sturdier, and to cover up these glue tabs as well. And there we go, there is the base. You could always do this in a contrasting colour actually, that would look cool. But I think it looks quite nice like that. Okay, so now we've got our completed base for our Eternity Vase, and then we have the glue tabs at the bottom of the Eternity Vase itself. So we had glued all of these bottom portions together. So now what we need to do is add glue onto the inside tabs. So we can just fold these out, which is quite helpful, and just add a bead of glue all the way around these inside tabs here, And then we'll place our fourth and final large hexagon onto those glue tabs. So that will hide the glue tabs and will form the base of, well, the initial base before it will be glued onto the main base. So then after that, we can adhere this to that. Look how cool that looks. And then we can stick all these sides together. And you'll notice that the top fold isn't a mountain, it's a valley. So it's not a true valley because it's not like that, but it sort of goes upwards. But you can see that it very much forms itself, really. So we'll go ahead. So we'll glue this one on first. Again, so you can see how nice and secure it's going to be, and even though I'm only using 216 GSM cardstock, because of all the layers, it's going to be nice and sturdy. And again, you could make it even more sturdy by adding more decoration to the sides. So I've just got my hand inside the bottom of the vase, trying to just sort of press it against the base that we've made. There we go. Again, I'll use the bone folder to reinforce that. That looks gorgeous. So then again, I'll just show you the first couple of these. And then our lidless vase will be complete. So the next step after this will be to construct the lid. Oh, this is looking so, well, magnificent, really, in a subtle way, a sort of delicate magnificence, if that's a thing. But just take your time with this bit. It's not as easy to get your bone folder in as it was with the last one. So just take your time with making sure that each side is adhered before you move on to the next, because you want it all to be even and lined up correctly. No, that one's not wanting to work. Let's try it again. I'll do this bit first and then do the tab separately. The top tab. There's no rush, just take your time and ensure that each stage is completed properly before moving on to the next. So just because I was able to do those two in one go, it doesn't mean that, you know, that I'm able to do these two, but it's fine. What do you think of these colours, guys? Would you have chosen bubblegum pink and gold? Now this should be easier to do now because the bottom in theory has stuck. Excellent. So I'm going to continue on with the rest of this. Okay, so it's the next day now and the glue has dried and we've got the form of our Eternity Vase base, which I just think looks absolutely gorgeous. So the next step is to make the lid. So it's very similar to how we made the base. So essentially we need to stick all these little bits together, which are the same as this. And then we use these on the top and the bottom, or sort of backing onto each other, but we obviously don't need a bottom like we did with this because that's going to slot over the top of there. And then we've got these smaller, these tiny dinky little versions, and these are to make a smaller little pull top to stick onto there. And then we've got a couple of hexagons there as well, and there's also some decorative elements. There's two different ones, and I think I'm going to choose this floral one here, which is super pretty. So I'm going to cut that out of some gold, the same gold cardstock, and then stick that on the top. So it's just about gluing these parts together. So I'll speed through this. Now, as you can see, we've got glue tabs there on the bottom, which we haven't had. Oh no, did we? Yeah, we did have it with the base. I'm pretty sure, yeah, the instructions only tell us to cut 2 of these small hexagons out for this. So I think the idea is that we just fold these under and then adhere it to the lid like that. But I think I'm just going to add on, I'm just going to die cut another lid and stick it on there, just for personal preference. It doesn't, the instructions don't tell you that, but I just think it might be slightly easier. And I'm also going to die cut this out in gold to stick on top, because I think that will look pretty. In fact, I'm also wondering about whether to cut, yeah, I think I'll cut a hexagon out in this to stick on top of there as well. So I'll just do those bits and then come back and show you the completed project. And here we go, the completed make. I think it looks super cute with that little decorative hexagon on the top. I really like that, and I'm glad I decided at the last minute to put some of the decorative gold paper on there as well. The lid slides off and on really easily, no problems at all there. And as you can see, it's a really good size. It's, you know, it's bigger than my hands, and it really does feel quite sturdy. These are a pair of very long handled scissors. I've got a bone folder. What else can I try and shove in there? Paintbrushes. So it'd be a lovely attractive piece to sort of have on your desk. It would be a beautiful gift box to give to somebody if you've bought them a small gift or a gift card or something, like a pair of socks and a gift card, and pop that in there. And then really the main gift is the box, because that would be something, I know for example, if I gave that to my mom, she would absolutely love it. So yeah, and I initially, like, I wouldn't have thought to go for pink and gold, but I think it looks really nice together, the colour scheme. So that's all from me today. If you've got any questions or queries, anything that didn't quite make sense, or you want to know anything more about it, then just leave me any questions in the comment section below, and I'll always get back to you. And I'll leave a video and a playlist here that might be of interest to you. So that's all from me today, and I'll see you again soon with some more crafty goodness. Bye for now.